Hello. So I've been exploring coding with with AI, specifically with Kiro from AWS, and want to show some of the results and how things work, and what I've come with so far. So I'm currently in the job search phase, and I'm creating my own job search tracking software. Currently, it's got an anonymized process in here that changes the company names to weird names. It's got a number of things in it. So I have this search results pane, and then I can click Fetch Adzuna Jobs. It asks me for Director of Software Engineering. I could change that. And also in settings here, I have Director of Software Engineering. So I could change it here so that I don't have to change it over here. Let's say I'm looking for different jobs. I would run search, and it's going to search multiple countries, and it's going to bring in that data. Just a note here, this kind of search doesn't work with LinkedIn because they don't have an API. So I can go to LinkedIn. So this is a LinkedIn job entry that might be a possibility for me. So I can click on this. I can hit Control C on the description, on the HTML, HTTPS, and then I can go over to import links. I can enter that, and this is designed so that I can do multiple at the same time, and I just do run import, and it's imported the job. Under search results, we'll see it here. It's a new LinkedIn opportunity, and then I can go to pipeline, and I can star it, saying, hey, this is the one I'm applying to right now. And then I would go through the application process, which is annoying and long, so we won't do that in the video. And I'll finally click and drag this over to the Apply tab. Or if I want to research the company before going on to that point, I would click on it, drop it here. Then I know that it's being researched, or that's the step that I'm at for a specific job. And then I'm going to move it to the Applied section over here. I did get an email from a recruiter, so I can add jobs manually, and then they would show up over here in the pipeline, and then I could work it through the process. Useful links, things that I don't want to lose track of, I put them in here. And then interesting here, we have we had to put the time zone in because I wanted it to tell me how many jobs have I applied to today. Okay. Oh, and it's got a little current focus. It must have added that by itself. Um, and so then prompts log. So this is the interesting part here. This took me roughly 8 to 12 hours to write. And these are all the prompts that I did to do that. Interestingly, when I told Kiro to log the prompt and log all the responses, it wouldn't necessarily do that. So I can click on it and it gives me a summary of what it did, but it won't tell me exactly what Kiro said. For example, what it responded to over here. And I told it I'm not expecting to see the code that it wrote, but it still wouldn't do it. So it's kind of hiding something. Nice thing about this is it shows what it considers each one to be. And there were lots of difficulties making this because sometimes I would tell it to do something like create a dashboard page. And then it took that and it went off on its own and it did a bunch of things which were mostly incorrect, but not completely incorrect. Then we have this application outcomes. So currently I've got 48 applications out there. If we click on this, we can see the ones that I'm applied to. We can see the ones that I tried to apply to and ran into an issue on their website. Usually it's in regard to uploading the resume. There's some that I rejected myself, maybe because of salary. This one is so weird. It says engineering coach, director, VP, but the salary level was really low. So, I mean, it sounds like the kind of thing I would do, but that's out of the question. And we've already got some that were rejected by employer, which isn't surprising. And this is just a few days into the job search. But automated things are going to do automated things. So then, let's see, we've seen the settings over here. It's a fully fledged application. It's got a database in the background right now. It's just a SQLite database. And then over here with those, what was our total number of prompts? 128 prompts. We generated 16,420 lines of code over 66 files in 17 different languages. We have it broken up by language and this is like the legend for that, and files by language by lines. Oh, well, lines is over here. This is files. And then over here it's just got basically the raw data. And I have a button here that I can click rescan. So I've added some things to the code since then. So I'm going to hit rescan. And the number of lines changed a little bit. The number of files changed. And you see this is some of the issue here that these little tiles here are reversed, which is leading me to misunderstand uh, which graph goes to which. And I can correct that easily enough. And then over here, finally, we have code map. Um, and just as a note, doesn't do everything the way you'd want it to do. So in my initial code map, uh, there was only a single web controller, and everything was in one web controller, which is not desirable. So please break down the web controller into separate web controllers by business process, then add this before the API endpoint in the code map, and the code map should be filterable by API controller. Update all calls to the new architecture. And it complained a little bit, but now honestly, it should have done this in the first place. So this is where programming experience comes into play, that you really need to monitor what it does, that it does what you want it to do. All right, so now after running that, it's created controllers for all the different ones. We can see that there's a UI page, there's action, load stats. It calls this controller, this endpoint in that controller. It's a get method. There's SQL behind it. So it's doing parameterized queries in line SQL, and then it shows me the tables that are interacted with. So we can change this to, say, the Kanban controller, and you can see all the different methods that are associated with that, the types of those methods, the SQL that's run, and the tables that are affected. So this is really good. Certainly for greenfield application, I don't see why you wouldn't want to use this. I do see where you would still want a programmer to do this, but I would say that the amount of time it took me to do this, say 8 to 12 hours, it would have taken me a lot more time to do this, doing it by hand, a lot more frustration. And there's still some things that I want to add to this, and we have the code. So you could go to this and see the code that was generated. You can download this and run it on your local computer. It isn't super hard to run, and I've improved running it just a bit. It wrote a script so that we don't have to do individual things like that. I have it with this, so let's just give that a stop. All right, so you see it starts the API and the UI service. And to do that, we just .NET Run. And that particular project opens up two terminal windows in the background and starts the application. So that's basically it. I didn't want to take forever on this. It's a little unstructured, but I think I got through it. Thanks for your time.